Alright, so now, at this point, you should be pretty experienced with animating a Pac-Man sprite that just opens and closes his mouth. It might not be the most easy thing in the world, because there was a lot of steps to it, and we had to be very precise to make sure that it didn't move awkwardly, that it was all lined up perfectly, consistently from one to the next. But what if we wanted to do something a little bit more complex than just a Pac-Man with his mouth opening and closing? Maybe something running. I have an example here where I created a Deadpool, just a little caricature of Deadpool standing still here. When I vectored him a little bit differently. I made his arm separate as a vector, his leg separate, his other arm separate, and his other leg separate. That way I could move them independently of the torso and the head. On the web, I found this sprite strip, and I used that as a model for how I should position his legs and arms. Mine might not be perfect. It might, look a little like he's playing an air guitar here. But it's a good start for a good attempt at doing this. I took those, not the stationary, but the last 4 sprite strips, and I put them in a sprite strip all together. I took my document and I shrunk the artboard down in the document so that it was just the size, just like we had done with the other Pac-Man. I still have the boxes on this, and I did that for a reason. Notice that my box is 197 by 273. You want to write that down so that you don't forget it. We're going to need that when we go to GameMaker and set up the sprite strip. It's going to work out a lot better if your box is a perfect pixel count instead of just a fraction of a pixel like I have, but we can make this work. Now we're going to export this. So File and Export. I'm going to call this, I have a bunch of them already, but I'm going to call this Deadpool Running 5. I'm going to click Save. 72 should be our resolution, and our background should be transparent. But look at that. We didn't take the red box off. Let's cancel that. And let's get rid of all of these red boxes, because we don't want them to show up on the animation. File, Export again. I'm going to put that 5 behind it. I'm going to click Save. Save again. 72, transparent, we're good. Click OK. And now we have that. Okay, so I'm going to launch GameMaker. And in GameMaker, that's where I'm going to have to start with making a new sprite. New sprite. As always, SPR underscore. I'm going to call him Pac-Pool. Edit sprite. File. Create from strip. This part's pretty much all the same as it was before. I'm going to scroll down until I find 5. I'm going to click Open. Let's make this bigger so we can see it pretty well. Number of images per row, 4. Number of images, 4. Number of images in a row, 4. Width and height. Well, this is where I need that number from the box. 197. Remember, there was a decimal point. It does not like, see what happens if I put a decimal point in there? It does not like it. So I'm just going to have to keep that to the nearest whole number. 273. So that makes my boxes here. We want to make sure that we have him fitting right into my box. So we're just going to move that around till he fits in there. And then I'm going to click OK. Show in preview. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Looking good. Let's change the speed to something more reasonable so he doesn't look like the Flash running there. And there's my animation. So I have him animated. That's really all that's to it. I could click OK. I have my sprite. And then I just have to go through and continue to animate it like I had done before. You've seen that it works. So we would just have to create the object, put the object in a room, and there you have it. So this side of it, the GameMaker side, is no different. But this side, this is a little bit more complex. You do want to take your time, because even when I had that animated in GameMaker, if we go back into our preview here, you can see that his head's moving slightly. If I don't have everything lined up just perfect, you're going to see some stuff like that. So you want to really, really be careful to take your time to make sure that all these sprites line up just right. Hopefully that makes sense, and that's how you would animate something a little bit more complex than just a mouth opening and closing.